Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Okay, I'm sorry I'm running late. I'm 3 minutes late. I apologize. I have to get some ice. Hold please. Go get your Energize. Go get your ice. I'm gonna go get my ice. I'll be right back. We'll make our Energize together. Good morning. I was getting my ice. Get your ice, get your Energize, do all the things. And I was doing my journaling, and I was actually also having a conversation with one of my good friends, success partners. So lots of already going on this morning, very early. I have to grab a straw. I'm gonna do that right now. I was also emptying the dishwasher. Okay, good morning. Now we are ready. Okay, we're going to make this Energize, and I have to talk to you. We got to talk about two things today. One is hydration and water, because I have to show you something. And two is the podcast relaunches today. The podcast relaunch. I so wish this was a wand. You and I both know. You and I both know that I've had multiple Harry Potter wands in my house. You know my girls have had Harry Potter wands. You know they've made them. We've bought them. You know we've done the whole Harry Potter experience. We are Harry Potter OG fans. My oldest daughter, Jenna, was reading Harry Potter, the very first Harry Potter, when it came out. She was like 4 years old, whatever. If this was a Harry Potter wand, I would be so happy on this Wednesday morning. How are you? Good morning. Kira. Okay, Kira, you did something to your Instagram handle, didn't you? Kira. You added your first name, but you must tell us about why it has that long little miscommunication on the end of it. But you added your first name, didn't you? Which is good. That's a start. But tell me why it has the rest of that, because that's still very long. It's very long. Mary Villa 804. Good morning. Mary Villa, is your area code 804? Is that what the 804 is for? Okay, fruit punch and lemon. Good morning. I don't sing. How are you? How is everyone today? How's it? I was busy last night. I had multiple things going on last night, and I didn't get a chance to schedule the Instagram live before 6:30. So then I was like, well, I can't schedule it. Should we do it? And tomorrow, if we do one tomorrow, we're going to do it later, because I take a Soul Cycle class at 7:30 a.m. So we're going to do it later tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow, we talked about this before, maybe tomorrow will be the day that we do a Instagram live while I'm making my shake. You can see what I put in my shake, although it's very loud, right? Because it's a blender. So it is what it is, right? Okay, so it's a big day. The podcast relaunches today. So when we started this podcast, let me tell you a story about the podcast. Good morning, Kendra. Good morning. So, are you ready? Oh, I see, Kira. I got it. I'd still rather see just your name. You know why? Because you can put what you do in your bio. I just want to see your name. Good morning, Amanda. Thank you so much. Everyone needs to go to Amanda's. Amanda has a Disney podcast called Disney Travel for All. A, you should follow it. And B, go to her most recent post, because she has the most gorgeous picture of the Cinderella castle. It's so beautiful. So you need to go follow Disney Travel for All. Amanda, put your Instagram handle in the comments so people can go follow it today and go see that gorgeous picture of the carriage that you took yesterday. It's so beautiful. I'm so jealous. Soon, Amanda. Soon. Okay, let's talk about the podcast. Keep me focused, okay? Keep me focused. I'm like a squirrel sometimes. I have so much in my head I always want to share. When I started the podcast, it came from literally years of people telling me I should do a podcast. Years of, this is what I've heard for years. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just simply sharing what I've heard. I've heard that I should have had a podcast and that I should write a book. I've heard that for years and years. I don't know why. And the whole podcast situation, I have to tell you, as much as I encourage you to say yes, to take the risk, to do the thing, to make the energize and do the thing, I held myself back on that podcast because in my head, the voice that I was hearing was saying this: who do you think you are? Who's going to listen to you? And what do you have to say? That's what I heard in my head over and over and over again. And the other voice that I kept hearing was, you should start a podcast. You should start a podcast. You should start a podcast. And then I had this other voice over here in my head going, who do you think you are? Who's going to listen to what you have to say? And what do you have to say? Over and over. I had a huge fear that I'd start this podcast and nobody would listen. Because humans seek validation. Some more than others. Women, usually more than others. We seek validation. We seek permission. And it's kind of a natural human characteristic and one we have to educate against and work to release its hold on us. We don't need permission from anyone else. We don't need validation from anyone else, ever. So I had these two voices in my head. And this voice over here, you should start a podcast, you should start a podcast, kept getting louder. And finally I said, you know what? I have these videos that I filmed on morning routine because I'm passionate about morning. I so strongly believe that what we do in the morning sets a tone for our day. People always ask me, how I have so much energy or why I'm so motivated, because I'm creating my life on purpose. I'm doing this on purpose. None of this is random. And when you are creating your life on purpose, you feel like you're moving forward, that you are happy when you get up in the morning, So I had this video series on morning routine. And I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the audio from that morning series. That is a video. It's a video morning series. It's a course, in fact, right now that you can get on my website. You can go to my website. You can find the morning course. You can go to my links on my Instagram. You can go to my morning course. You can get my morning course. You can get that morning course if you want to see me talking to you. And we took the audio off that, and I said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take the audio, and we're going to drop it into a podcast form, and we're going to see if anyone listens to it. And that felt like this, it's almost embarrassing now when I talk about it because I'm so passionate about just say yes. Everything good happens on the other side of yes. Just say yes. Like, what is there to lose? What is there to lose? What did I possibly have to lose by starting a podcast? And what if after 2 years, I was done with it? Or after a year, no one listened to it? Who cares? Will I still be better on the other side of it? Yes. Would the experience make me better? Yes. So who cares? Why didn't I start it? I don't know. Because I'm a human being too. Held myself back. So I stripped the audio off this morning series. We dropped it in the podcast form and we released the podcast. And those did really well. So I said, okay, this is a really, I love this now. Like I love community. And I have spent a lot of time on this planet and I've had a lot of really cool experiences. And I've put myself in really uncomfortable situations to learn and to grow. And I am a constant student and I believe I'm a teacher at heart. So the podcast was such a natural outlet for me that once I stepped into it, I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I doing? Here's what's funny. That's true of most things. The anxiety, the fear, the silly stuff that we say in our heads is 1,000 times worse than anything that we actually do once we get into the thing. I'm going to tell you another example. That was so good this morning. When I became a fitness instructor more than 20 years ago, I found a format called Turbo Kick. It was a gym format, Turbo Kick, kickboxing. It's the love of my life. I love it so much. My 3 favorite formats ever till the end of time are Turbo Kick, indoor cycling, and strength training, period. I want to lift some weights. I want to get on a bike. I want to kickbox. Those are my favorite. When I found Turbo Kick, it was this beautiful marriage of music and movement, and I loved it. And it was a high like I'd never experienced anymore. And I taught the format in the gym. And then I applied to be a master trainer for this format so that I could train other instructors to teach this incredible format that had changed my life too. And I remember applying. It was a pretty intense application process. And when I got the email that I had been accepted to come out to California for 5 days of training, it was literally like a 5-day audition, 5 days of training. I remember thinking to myself, this is even back in the day, I thought to myself, well, no matter what happens, I'm going to be better on the other side of it. No matter what happens, I'm going to be better on the other side of it. And I really went into that experience, that whole 5-day audition intensive process, just thinking, okay, no matter what happens, I'm going to be better on the other side of it. So I sort of had that in my toolbox. I don't know why I didn't apply it to the podcast situation in my life, but again, we're humans and we don't always get everything right. I'm sharing that with you now because I really truly believe that. Now that I'm in, finally when I said yes, I fought it for a while, but when I finally said yes and thought, okay, I'll be better on the other side of it, I discovered a love in this podcast platform. Another example is I just signed up for, it's a big step, but I just signed up for this 3-day speaker workshop. When I came back from our leadership conference that we did in September, and I had the opportunity to speak to the leaders in the Team Beachbody Network, I realized how much I love being on stage and sharing these experiences and this knowledge and these ideas that I've been able to accumulate over the years on the planet, and sharing that with others to help shorten their learning curve is a passion of mine. And I had missed being on a stage and being able to do that. And it made me realize that I think I have a path maybe in speaking on stages. Well, the universe, the minute you say out loud, I think I want to pursue something in speaking. I think I want to do something with it. I think I want to speak on some stages and whatever. The minute you do that, universe is like, oh, really? Are you serious? Well, here's an opportunity. What are you going to do with it? And I was like, frick. It was an opportunity for a 3-day. Nothing is random. When I came back from that conference and I was thinking, I think I want to pursue this speaking thing, I then connected with an author who also is a speaker, and we'd been trying to connect for a while. Couldn't connect, but then all of a sudden, after I think I want to pursue this speaking thing, we're able to connect. That's not random. And all of a sudden, she happens to be organizing and leading a 3-day speaker workshop. None of that is random. That is the universe going, oh, really? Are you serious? Are you? Are you going to say yes to this? Or are you going to let fear hold you back? And you know what? I looked at that speaker workshop that is in January, when I already have 2 trips in January, when it's already going to be a very busy month because we got something big coming up in spring. I looked at that and I thought, I'm going to say yes, because you know what? I'm going to be better on the other side of it. No matter what, on the other side of these 3 days, with training and mentoring and being in proximity with amazing humans who also want to get better at something, I'm going to be better on the other side of it. So I said yes. So in January, I go out to a 3-day conference that is all about how to be a public speaker, a better public speaker. It's all about how to start following that path. I just said yes. I'll be better on the other side of it. And that's kind of what the podcast is. I finally just said yes. And I know that I'll be better on the other side of it. And my hope is that the podcast platform provides information and conversation for you, that it shortens your learning curve, and that it reminds you that we are all so much more connected and so much more similar than we're ever different. And, I have the honor of knowing a lot of people in the Broadway industry. I have the honor of knowing a lot of people in the fitness industry. And as I bring these people together, it might feel like their stories are different, but they're not, because it's the human experience. It's the shared human experience. And we're all so much more alike. We just may have gone into a different genre, a different path, a different industry, a different job, but the trail to get there, success leaves clues. So no matter whether someone is successful in the Beachbody realm, in the entrepreneur realm, in the Broadway realm, it doesn't matter, in the book writing realm, it doesn't matter, because success leaves clues. And those clues are similar no matter what path you take. I hope that makes sense. And that's really my goal with this podcast. Shorten your learning curve, remind you that we're all so similar. And also, if someone else can do it, so can you. Because that's what I get out of every single one of these conversations. Like, what I've discovered is the podcast becomes a reason for me to have hour-long conversations with freaking amazing humans. And then I get to share that with you. And my hope is that it shortens your learning curve and helps get you out of your way. And this voice over here that says the stuff like, well, who do you think you are? And who's going to listen to you? My hope is that the podcast will help quiet that voice, and you'll listen to this other one that just says, oh, no, remember, everything good happens on the other side of yes. That's what my hope is. So as the podcast re-releases today, I want you to know the journey it took to get here. It wasn't just something I said randomly, let's just start a podcast, and it just all flowed. That's very much not the case. I fought myself on a long time for it, and now that I'm here, I realize it's just such a natural extension of what I already do. Instead of video, it's just audio, right? It's like this conversation that we have every morning. It's just now it's on audio, and I get to have that conversation with other really cool humans too, and share that with you. My goal is that it feels like we're sitting at my kitchen table. So we've got 2 new ones that will launch today, along with, we pushed back up the John Acuff, which if you don't have his book soundtrack, please do get it. And we also pushed back up the Dave Hollis podcast, which was recorded in May. Super cool to listen to that, because he was kind of in the midst and at the end of writing this book. And now this book has come out. So that's what makes it so cool. We pushed those 2 back up, and then 2 new ones will drop today. Hold on, I just want to make sure I want to see. With Lisa, that was such a great episode. She'll be on again. So we've got 2 new ones that'll drop today that I think you'll really enjoy. We've got some fantastic ones coming up. Speaker, author Kendra Hall will be on. Beachbody super trainer Jennifer Jacobs will be on the podcast, and the month of December will be all Disney theme. It'll be all Disney theme podcast. So we're bringing you the magic in December. It's going to be super fun. And, we've talked on here before about suggestions that you have, and I took a couple of those and have reached out. So just continue to give me suggestions who you would want to have a conversation with. If you could have a conversation with anyone, and I could realistically get them on my podcast. Don't ask me for like Oprah. If you could have a conversation with anyone and I could realistically get them on my podcast, let me know. Put them in the comments. Send me a message. Give me that information, because I want to bring people and conversations and information and thoughts and concepts to you that would be the most beneficial. Ooh, Trent Shelton. I'm actually going to write that one down. That's one I hadn't heard. Let's write that one down. Trent Shelton. That's a good one. Oh, Shalene, yeah. I was also thinking about Brock. Asking Brock, just simply because his expertise with Instagram, I think would be so interesting to hear from. So I was actually thinking about him too as well. But keep sending me ideas and thoughts, just not Oprah. If you have a connection to Oprah and can get Oprah on my podcast, let's go for it. But Yes. Mary, that's so great. I'm going to write that down right now. I have a feeling he has a really good story. Don't you, Mary? Is it Mary Ori? I don't know. Y'all, I'm going to say this with love. I say this with the utmost love that I can. You've got to clean up your Instagram handle names. You just have to. They just need to be your name. Your name, period. It just needs to be your name. But it's not spelled that way, Mary Ori. It says Mary Ori. It doesn't say Marjorie. Gina, have you listened to my podcast? I'm curious because I have super trainers on there already. And I didn't know if you'd heard them yet or not. Jessica, you cannot even have Energize without a straw. Like, what were you doing before? What was happening before? Who were you before? So Gina, before you make recommendations, you should probably go listen to what's already out there, right? Right. I do have a lot of super trainers on there. You know who I would like is, I would love to get Jericho. Speaking of super trainers, she's one that I'd like to get. So, okay. But you gave me 3, which I love. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. I hope you go listen to the podcast today. I truly hope you do. And let's talk about this for a moment. My favorite flavor of water is Smart Water. It's the best ever. And I stopped drinking it because it only comes in plastic. And I stopped drinking single-use plastic, as we all should. And so I do love this water. I love this water. This is amazing water. It's so good, but it also comes in glass, so it's recyclable. And then I also drink Proud Source, which comes in aluminum, which is recyclable. But this is my favorite. Smart Water tastes so good. Don't even tell me that it doesn't have a taste. It does. It has a taste. And my daughter told me she saw someone on the subway in New York with Smart Water in an aluminum bottle. I'm like, you know what? I've been waiting for that for a long time. And they're still making it in plastic. I'm like, but this is 2021. Who is making water in plastic anymore? Come on. So I came home from New York and I got on the interwebs and I found it. Now it's only 16 ounces. It's not 23 or 33 like I would prefer, but it's a start. And I bought it because I want them to continue to make it. So if I want it, I had to support it. I want them to make all their Smart Water in aluminum bottles. And if I want that to happen, I must support it. So I bought it. It's not on their website. I think I found it on Amazon, which I thought was weird. And I wonder if they're doing like a test. Like, will people buy it? Duh, people will buy it. No more single-use plastic. So I'm very excited. If you see this anywhere, let me know, because I'm actually looking for it in the bigger bottles. And it's the best. It's the best. Hi, Kate Needs Fitness. Kate, is Needs your last name? Or is that like a phrase that you need fitness? Also, welcome, because now you're part of our morning family. Kate, you are part of our morning family now, right? Our morning Energize Live family. Tell me if your last name is Needs or if you're just saying you need fitness. Needs is your last name. Okay, I love it. That's awesome. That's so fun. Yes, welcome to our morning family. Welcome to our morning Energize Live crew. Okay, so if you see this anywhere, please let me know. Like, people used to buy this for me for my birthday because I love it so much. But I won't drink it in the plastic anymore because I'm no more single-use plastic. People, save our oceans, save our planets. Don't be doing it. So if you see this anywhere, let me know. I'm going to continue to be on a hunt for it. And I'm going to tag Smart Water all the time and be like, come on now. Come on, step it up with the aluminum. And I said this yesterday on my story, so I'll share this with you too. When you buy aluminum, lots of places recycle aluminum for the funds. So this goes to, like, when we're done with all our aluminum cans, because we have a lot of aluminum, we have cases of aluminum canned water. It goes to our neighbor, they take it to their church, it gets recycled, and the church gets the funds for it. Isn't that amazing? So Mountain Valley, you can get Mountain Valley in aluminum as well. So we have it in glass. This is 33 ounces, and then the aluminum is like 25. So it's slightly bigger than this, but you can get we have them both. And you can also get Mountain Valley in glass bottles that are like half this size, which are kind of fun, like for kids and stuff. So you don't, have a bunch of half empty bottles around. So we get delivered every 2 weeks, Mountain Valley glass bottles and aluminum bottles. And then we get it in our for our water dispenser too. However, if I can find this, I am switching. I am switching because I love smart water. Okay, so please go listen to the podcast today. And if you listen to it, will you please tag me on stories? Please, please, please tag me on stories so I know that you're also part of the podcast community. Thank you so much for being part of the Morning Energized Live community. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I take an early class tomorrow. I do Soul Cycle live tomorrow from my basement, New York City to Carmel, Indiana, 7:30 a.m. So I will not do a live in the morning, but maybe we'll do one a little bit later for Shakeology when I'm making my superfood shake. The name of the podcast is Project 100. Project 100, but you can also search my name and it'll pop up. But the name of the podcast is Project 100, Julie Voris, and you can see all the episodes that are still up there. And we've pushed the 2 with John Acuff and Dave Hollis up to the top with some new show notes, so you can see those. And then the new ones will be dropping today. And yes, it's on Apple. Yes, of course you can. Yes, did you think I was keeping it a secret? Also, Journey Blazing, I don't know what your name is. I don't know what your name is. So I cannot respond. I'm now no longer responding to people who I don't know what their name is. Thank you, Jessica. Yes, Apple, Spotify. And then when we get the link to it, it'll also go up onto my website. So you'll be able to just go to my website and get it there too. And then I usually do like reels and some videos because I record everything on video, so you get to see the person, because there might be someone on the podcast that you don't know. I love to provide you with video so you can put a face with the name. So please go listen to it. Please, 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 please go listen to it. Please remind yourself that everything good happens on the other side of yes. I promise. I'm speaking from experience. Everything good happens on the other side of yes. Please remind yourself that the voice over here that tells you no one's going to listen to the podcast, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you are loving it and the experience brings value to you, then it's worthwhile. Who cares what anyone else thinks? Who cares if anyone else listens to it? I hope you listen to it. I really do. And I still had the opportunity, whether you listen to it or not, to sit down and have an hour-long conversation with Dave Hollis, and that was pretty cool. So I want you to listen to it because I want to help you and give you stuff that will help you create the life that you want to create on purpose with purpose. And yet, at the same time, I still got to have a conversation with Dave Hollis. And I'm sharing that with you because sometimes we get caught up in this voice without thinking, you know what? Who cares what they think? I still get to do the XYZ. I hope that makes sense. Everything good happens on the other side of yes, I promise you. Everything good happens when you just do the thing. Make your energize. Do the thing today. Hydrate like the queen that you are. Hydrate. And if you find smart water somewhere, let me know. If you listen to the podcast today, please tag me and let me know. All right. Have an awesome Wednesday. Stay tuned. I'll put up a reminder for a live tomorrow. Have a great day.